She's about to become a household name with the release of Disney's live-action adaptation of Mulan. But where did Liu Yifei come from? And where have you possibly seen her before? If you're new to Asian cinema, then chances are this could be the first, possibly second if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, time you've seen her. But Liu Yifei has had a long and successful TV and movie career in China, starring in 5 TV shows, with another being filmed in 2020, and around 20 movies, not including Mulan. Hi, I'm the Artie Dance from Asian Film Fans, and welcome to this special video. If this is your first time on this channel, please check out some of our other videos when you're finished watching this one. If you enjoyed what you've watched, please consider liking and subscribing. We plan to create more interesting videos like this. So who is Liu Yifei? Born on the 25th of August 1987 in Wuhan, China, she is the daughter of a professor from the Wuhan University and a national first-class dancer. At just 8 years old, she won the title of Children's Cup in the Children's Fashion Model Grand Prix in Central South Commercial City. At such a young age, she was destined for great things. However, just 2 years later, when she was 10, her parents divorced and she followed her mother to the US. While she is now a US citizen, she still calls herself Chinese and returned to the mainland in 2002 to begin her career. Before becoming an actor, Liu Yifei was an established and well-known model. With a striking beauty, one photographer described her as having eye-catching phoenix eyes, graceful with long hair. She is a super perfect version of a young, beautiful woman. Accepted into the Beijing Film Academy's acting department in July of 2002, she was discovered by producer Yu Jianmin, who saw her in a real estate advertisement and immediately decided to cast her in his upcoming 2003 series, The Story of a Noble Family, where she starred in 40 episodes. This popular drama scored very well with users on the portal site Douban with an average of 8.4. Douban is one of the most influential cultural and entertainment sites in China, covering film, books, music, current events, and more. It is the go-to site for entertainment information in China. When she first debuted, Liu Yifei's mother would accompany her on set to ensure any scenes she was starring in were safe. There were a lot of wire work in the fantasy and fighting scenes in these shows. Some might think her mother was being overprotective, but Yifei was brave enough to take on the risks of doing the stunt work, believing the more stunts she did, the more she understood the risks. From there, the work came quickly for Liu Yifei. 2003 saw her star in 54 episodes of the TV series Demigods and Semi-Devils, which also scored highly with users with an average of 8.3, before 2004 would give her the opportunity to star in 2 feature-length movies. The first was Love of May, also the first time she used the name Crystal Liu professionally, a Taiwanese romantic movie about a young girl from mainland China who meets a Taiwanese boy while chatting online. This performance was followed up almost immediately by another Taiwanese romantic film, this time a comedy called The Love Winner, about a young man who learns to fight in 7 days to fight for the girl he's in love with. Liu Yifei returned to TV work in 2005 and 2006, starring in 34 episodes of Chinese Paladin, her highest rating body of work on the site Douban, with an average user score of 8.8 out of 10. 20 episodes of the romantic drama Silver Age, and 42 episodes of The Return of the Condor Heroes. This would mark the end of her TV series work until 2019, but she managed to squeeze in one more romantic movie called The Story of a Bow in 2006. Starring role in 2010's Love in Disguise, alongside Joan Chen and Li Hongwang, led to yet another starring role alongside Louis Koo in Wilson Yip's horror fantasy film A Chinese Ghost Story in 2011. This well-received movie is a remake of Ching Su Ting's 1987 classic of the same name. If you'd like to know more about that film, please click on the link in the description for a review of that film by Oliver from Asian Film Fans. In an interview conducted in 2011, Liu Yifei was asked,
你还会接很苦的戏吗？如果这剧本很好，很苦，很吃苦。
我从来就不怕吃苦，但我就是问题是，就是现在我越来越觉得没有苦可吃。就我心里是快乐的，有什么就是苦会让我觉得苦，就没有这样的想法了。
Liu Yifei's methodology to distract herself from hardship is to think of something else, and by doing that, the shooting of the film will go smoothly. She is an actress who has used her natural talents of beauty and acting skills to achieve success, but it's also her strong willpower and endurance that has endeared her to directors and actors alike. Showing that she isn't afraid of working with big-name directors and actors, her second movie of 2011 was the Daniel Lee-directed White Vengeance, an action fantasy film set during the twilight years of the Qing dynasty. This movie also stars Jung Hung-yu, more well known in his role in The Captain, and Hong Kong favourite Anthony Wong, a veteran with over 200 credits to his name and who would also star with Liu in one of her most well-known Chinese language movie series to date. 2012 saw her star in the first in a trilogy of Hong Kong martial arts movies about four constables called The Four. This trilogy of movies saw a movie released in 2012, 2013, and 2014, where she starred alongside Anthony Wong and was directed by Janet Chun. Her only other movie during that 3-year period was in 2012, where she starred alongside famous Hong Kong action star Chow Yun-fat in The Assassins. At the conclusion of the Four trilogy, Liu starred in her second American-made movie, this time alongside Nicolas Cage and Hayden Christensen in Outcast. This action movie cast Liu as the daughter of a Chinese emperor who teams up with her brother and a foreign warrior to battle against her uncle. This one wasn't a big winner with critics or users alike. Following the release of Outcast, Liu Yifei went back to what she does best, romance films, with a string of romantic comedies or dramas over the next 3.5 years, starting with 2014's For the Love or Money, where she starred again with Joan Chen. The Third Wave of Love, in 2015, was her only movie of that year.
我喜欢你，我想以结婚为前提和你交往。
2016 saw her star in two romantic comedy dramas, Night Peacock
除了我，不会有任何人知道的。
and So Young 2, Never Gone.
一些遥远而明媚的青春年华。
While in 2017, she took up the starring role of a heavenly goddess in the poorly received romantic fantasy drama Once Upon a Time. During this time, her roles were not resonating as well with the audience as they previously had been. Her earlier works had started her career with a bang, frequently scoring high with user reviews as she established herself as a romance movie and TV show favourite. She even developed a nickname amongst her fans as Fairy Sister due to her natural beauty and poise. However, as she branched out to more varied roles, starting with the Forbidden Kingdom, it seems her original fans didn't like the work that Liu Yifei was doing, with user scores regularly averaging out around 5 out of 10, down from her early career highs. She ended 2017 starring in two films that resonated better with her fan base. First up was the well-received war drama The Chinese Widow. This Chinese-made movie features a Danish director in Billy August and an American writer Greg Latta and leading actor Emil Hirsch. Set during World War II, The Chinese Widow tells the story of an American Air Force commander who is forced to make an emergency landing in China and is rescued by a widower, played by Liu, who is determined to hide him from the Japanese soldiers occupying her town. Yifei commented in an interview with Dior at the Cannes Film Festival in 2016 that it was a big honour to work with Billy August, whose sage advice to her was to keep it simple. This movie was released a year after its Chinese release in American cinemas in late 2018. Her final movie in 2017, and the last picture she starred in until the release of Mulan, was the CGI-heavy comedy fantasy film Hansen and the Beast. This kind of odd romantic film stars Liu Yifei as the fox demon who unexpectedly forms a romance with a debt-ridden animal breeder desperate to find a wealthy girlfriend. And this leads us to 2020, and what is undoubtedly her biggest role to date in Disney's live-action adaptation of the classic story of Mulan.
I've had 3 months of training process. It's quite challenging, 6 or 7 hours a day. It's been really helpful. Yeah, I feel like I can do more push-ups.
In order to capture the essence of Mulan and deliver a believable performance, this is what Liu Yifei put herself through. Impressing directors, choreographers, and fellow actors alike, she was put through military-like training, including additional training in martial arts, horseback riding, and archery. In what should be a massive hit, this definitely won't be the last time we see Liu Yifei. We hope this video has given you a bit of a history on the back catalogue of Liu Yifei. If you were wanting to check out her older movies, especially her romantic dramas, you'll need access to Chinese-based video streaming apps, and unfortunately won't find too many with legal English translations. But you never know what the future holds, especially with the popularity of video streaming sites in the Western market that cater to Asian films and dramas. Her back catalogue might pop up sooner than expected. Thank you for watching this video. We've got more great videos like this lined up, but if there is a particular topic about Asian cinema you'd like to see us explore, please leave a comment below and we'll look into it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and consider subscribing to support our channel. Ring the bell to be notified of new videos, and we'll see you next time.